Coming up on today's show, we've got a in-depth Giants vs. Saints preview as my guy Trizzy Trace Gerard, the host of our Saints channel here at Chat Sports, we collabed for a Week 5 preview. Excited for you guys to see it. But if you want to beat the Saints, get to 2 and 3, hit that thumbs up icon right now.
One of my dear friends, one of the homies. I'm really excited to talk this ball game. Marshall, how are we feeling about the New York Football Giants?
If you would have asked me before the Week 4 win over the Chargers, I would have said I felt dead inside, like the season was already over. But the addition of Jaxson Dart into the starting lineup, it's injected life into this football team. It feels like it's been Week 1 all over again, and it's a new season for these New York Giants. I'm a little worried about this game against the Saints. I know that we've seen the spread go back and forth. I think if you ask Saints fans, they would say this is an extremely winnable game. If you ask Giants fans, you'd think this be an extremely winnable game. I don't believe in trap games, but if there was ever a trap game, this feels like one for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of those matchups for the New Orleans Saints. Like, you kind of have to go and win this one. If you're Spencer Rattler, you're Kellen Moore, neither of those guys have logged a win in the National Football League. I mean, at a certain point, you have to kind of take an honest look at yourself and say, this may be the best chance we have until after the bye to go and get a win, because it's not going to get any easier for New Orleans. And I think that this is going to be a really interesting matchup for both of these teams, because obviously the Saints, they have some problems. They have Spencer Rattler playing okay, Kellen Moore, new head coach, but like you said, it's a brand new Giants team, and you kind of get to see both of these squads really go at it against the bad team on the other side of the football. So maybe one of these teams will prevail and be the better squad. Marsh, can you tell us a little bit about the Giants defense, some of the players that stick out so far this season?
Yeah, that has been the area that's really been one of the lone bright spots for this football team. They've got one of the best pass rushes in the National Football League. Brian Burns leads the NFL in sacks right now with 5. Abdul Carter only has half a sack on the season, but he had 9 pressures last week, and he was dominant. And it was against the Chargers team that had 2 backup offensive tackles in. But the formula for the Giants, if they want to win games consistently, is very straightforward. You have to have Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeaux dominate football games. You only have so many resources to build a football team, and that is how they have chosen to build it. The idea would be the defensive line dominates, and then the Giants quarterback has a couple of splash plays with Malik Neighbors. But, you know, being a Giants fan, and I'm sure the Saints fans feel the same way, not many things have gone our way recently. And New Orleans own, Louisiana own Malik Neighbors would have been cool to see him a little homecoming game back in the boot, but not going to happen. So the Giants defense has been awesome. At times, they didn't play all that well against Dallas, but outside of that, they played well against the Chargers and Justin Herbert. They played well against the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, and they played well against the Commanders. It's going to be a different test, I think, against the Saints. I'm a little bit worried about their quick passing attack, because the Giants are a team on defense that wants to play off. They want to play soft man, soft zone coverage, and I could see this as a spot if the offensive line protects for New Orleans, that Spencer Rattler can get the ball out quick, work that quick game, have that pre-snap look ready to go. And I know that the Saints are an explosive offense, but they have shown they can move the ball down the football field. So something to monitor on the Giants' end of things for sure.
Well, and there's a familiar face for the Giants cornerback room. Paulson Thibodeaux was a member of the New Orleans Saints for quite some time. Can you kind of just give us a little bit of an update and let us know how he's looking? Because a big thing for Paulson Thibodeaux when he was in New Orleans was you're going to get a lot of pass breakups. You're going to get some interceptions. You're going to get good play on the ball, giggity. That being said, you're also going to see some times where he's going to get penalized. You're going to see him get burned because he is trying to go for the play. So can you just kind of let us know what's going on with Paulson Thibodeaux with the Big Blue a little bit?
Yeah, he's been all right. I wouldn't say he's been great. He's had a couple of dropped interceptions. Hasn't really been beat all too much. I think he's been solid. Hasn't quite lived up to the hype of the big contract they gave him. Still giving him time as he is working back from that nasty leg injury that he suffered last year. But he's been solid. I mean, had a couple of pass breakups. He dropped a couple of interceptions as well. Hopefully for my New York Giants, he comes back to the Superdome and leaves with his first interception as a New York Giant. I'm interested to see if they have him follow around Chris Olave this week. We've seen the Giants kind of do that from time to time because outside of Paulson Adebo, the Giants cornerback room is a little bit of a question mark. And I'm curious to see if Giants defense coordinator Shane Bowen will move around Adebo to follow Olave, who, outside of your boy, the need for speed, Shaheed.
Yeah.
Chris Olave, he's a great weapon.
Yeah, he's an absolutely awesome weapon. A big thing for Giants fans to kind of keep an eye on, though, is Chris Olave because, interesting enough, he leads the team in targets, but has been but he's been fairly unproductive. He's had some drop issues, a couple passes wide open, just goes right through your hands, couple in the end zone. It's kind of frustrating, and he scored his first touchdown, fun fact, since week 3 of last year against the Eagles, this past week against the Bills. Obviously, some of that has to do with the injuries.
So no way he scores back-to-back weeks.
There's no chance in hell. If I were going to put some money down, though, I would say Cam Scatterbo. He's going to absolutely shred us. But for what it's worth, I think it's a good thing to kind of consider. I mean, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, they've worked with Paulson Adebo. They've competed against him on the same team at practices. So I think that there is going to be a really interesting competition between the Saints receiving core and Paulson Adebo lining up against those guys. Familiar faces, like you said, a homecoming back to the Dome. I think it's going to be certainly an interesting one to monitor. But, one thing that's really, really bad about both of our squads, Marshall, is the penalties.
Yeah.
Death, taxes, penalties in the most inopportune times. So for New Orleans, 35 total penalties, 252 yards. New York, 35 penalties, 320 yards. Do you think that is an area of this game that should be heavily emphasized to clean it up? Like, what do you think that the Giants need to do to clean up some of these penalties? Because I can tell you what the Saints need to do.
Yeah, some of them have been unfortunate. There's been some defensive pass interferences that have cost the New York Giants. That's why you see 320 yards for 35 penalties. They just need to play smarter football. I think they did that a little bit better against the Los Angeles Chargers this past week. And maybe it's just the new rookie quarterback, and we're kind of starting to forget about all the blemishes of this football team. But it somewhat feels like a turning of the page. Last week was huge. The Chargers were undefeated, one of the best football teams in the league. And in a game like this, where these two teams are in the same tier and they're rebuilding and they're starting to try to lay a foundation for the future, and maybe not the most talented roster, the team that plays the cleanest football game, turnover-wise, penalty-wise, picking up third downs. Like, as cliche as that is, you got to win third down. You got to win the turnover battle. That's going to be critical in a game where we've seen the spread. 2 points for the Giants are the favorites. 2 points for the Saints are the favorites. So if the Saints can limit the penalties, that's only going to help them and boost the chances that they can walk out of the Superdome with a W.
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints, it's like happens at the most inopportune times. On third down, you get a stop, and then it's actually like, flag, didn't happen. Or you convert on third down, and then it pushes you behind the stick, so you have to convert an even further play. A big thing with the New York Giants that I'm really interested to see is Cam Scatterbo against a very, very poor rushing defense in New Orleans. And I also think that Jaxson Dart, a player who has been known to utilize his legs, I think that he has an opportunity to make something really happen against this Saints defense. And, I don't want to turn this into I'm knocking my own team, but, I'm just going to be honest here. The defense against the run is atrocious. And the defense specifically against mobile quarterbacks, absolutely disgusting. So what can you tell us about Cam Scatterbo, and what can you tell us about Jaxson Dart, understanding we haven't had a huge sample size, but what have you seen so far with these players?
Yeah, and I think the immediate thing we saw when Jaxson Dart got into the game is the Giants want to be a ball control but fast-paced offense. They're going to run a lot of no huddle. That's what Jaxson Dart did at Ole Miss. That helps him out. Go to the line. You get to listen to the play caller inside your head at the line of scrimmage. And the Giants ran a lot more no huddle last week. But you go back to week 2, Giants versus Cowboys, they put Jaxson Dart in a couple of times and ran those zone reads. They feel as if when Jaxson Dart is in at quarterback, it's 11 on 11 football, hat on hat. Everybody's got to account for everybody. And for Cam Scatterbo, he's addicted to contact. He wants to just bash his head into other people's heads. They ran him 25 times last week. I don't know if he'll get 25 carries again this week, but he's a guy usually breaks the first tackle. He falls forward. He's tough to tackle. And Jaxson Dart carries that same mindset as well. I don't know if I want Dart taking the amount of hits and carries and reckless hits he took last week, but you got to do what you got to do to win a football game. And the way those two run the football, that might be one of the best Giants' ways to win right now.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about Jaxson Dart, Cam Scatterbu, Rattler, Shaheed, all these guys here in just a second. But first things first, got to say thank you to today's presenting sponsor, and that is the best daily fantasy sports app in the whole wide world, Prize Picks. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I make decisions every single day, but over on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid, so don't miss on any of the excitement this season over on Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right, excuse me. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick more on Josh Allen's passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns, well, now you can pick all of those in the same lineup only over on Prize Picks. Marshall, I got a fun little lineup for this week. If you follow these picks, $20 wins you $120. Cam Scatterbu finds the end zone. Just talked about him. He's a battering ram, dude.
They give him the ball in the red zone. Outside of Cam Scatterbu, the only red zone touchdown the Giants have is Jaxson Dart with his legs.
Okay, so yeah, Cam Scatterbu rushing touchdown feels like a good one. Chris Olave, I'm hoping that we can start getting some good momentum. We projected him to get a touchdown last week. It hit. We're trying to make that happen again this week. Marshall, I see you got some fun ones for this week as well. What do we got going on here?
So I haven't been doing too well on the old Prize Picks app, so I'm doing it a little bit different. I've got 2 picks I feel really good about. I'm going with the less on Jordan Mason, rushing yards. I'm going more on Jaxson Dart, passing yards. I feel good about those. One that I do not think is going to hit is Daniel Jones more on passing yards. So I'm doing the reverse psychology thing. Yeah, everyone knows how I feel about Daniel Jones. I'm actually choosing him to have a good game for 2 reasons. 1, if I'm right, I win the money. And 2, if I'm not, I'm happy because he sucked.
There you go. It's a win-win. You can do the same thing on Prize Picks and keep yourself happy, keep your wallets loaded. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information is available in the comments and description of this video. Reminder, use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Alrighty, Marshall, I want to take a look kind of at what the injuries are looking like, because the New Orleans Saints,
I had some questions as well.
Yeah, they got some injuries that we got to deal with.
I saw some on the offensive line.
Oh, dude, it's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah, pop up the.
I don't want anyone to be hurt. I want to beat a team at full strength.
I'm with you.
But I see 2 injuries on the offensive line. I think they already ruled out Ruiz.
Yep, they have already ruled out Cesar Ruiz on Wednesday. They also ruled out Chase Young on Wednesday, which is pretty crazy to do on Wednesday, not even giving them the opportunity to play. For what it's worth, we kind of figured Cesar Ruiz would be out. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. But, I mean, Chase Young's been dealing with this calf injury he suffered on the first practice of the regular season. Hasn't been active since that first Wednesday. And now he's just costing us $17 million a year to not play. But it's pretty damn frustrating. Those are the 2 definite inactives. It's not ideal when this squad
So who's going to be the 5 offensive linemen on the field for the Saints this Sunday?
So this Sunday, I don't even know. So I'm going to go left tackle, Kelvin Banks, left guard. I don't even know, because it would be Penning, but Penning's hurt.
He didn't play.
It would be Dylan Radins, but he's dealing with an injury, so that's kind of a tough one right there. Maybe Xavier Truss or something. Center, Eric McCoy. Right guard, I believe, will be Torsilli Simpkins, because that's where he filled in at the right guard position after Cesar Ruiz suffered the injury. And then right tackle, Talese Fuaga. So your 2 tackles and your center definitely set. Banks, Fuaga, McCoy. Right here will be Torsilli Simpkins. Left guard, we'll have to see.
How have the 2 young tackles been this year?
Man, I'll tell you what, Bleacher Report does not know any sort of ball, because they said that they're grading it a D so far in terms of.
For Banks?
Yeah, for Kelvin Banks. I could not disagree more. I think he's been really, really good. He's been a consistent part of this team. He's really shined against some quality pass rushers and Nick Bosa. He held down a really quality defensive line against the Arizona Cardinals. 1 sack allowed, 3 total hits allowed. He has a pass blocking grade of 58.9, run blocking grade 64.7. I know PFF isn't necessarily the gospel when it comes to looking at offensive linemen. That being said, I do think it's a good measuring stick, and I do think that for a rookie left tackle on a struggling team, He has been a bright spot of this offense. Talese Fuaga, he's back on the right side where he played all of his college football last year as a rookie, played as the left tackle for New Orleans, switches back to his natural position. I think that he's been fine as well. The tackles, in my opinion, are actually where I have the most confidence.
Okay.
It's the tackles in the center position. I have nothing but confidence in those guys. The guards, though, especially now that they're hurt, that's where I have a problem. But maybe bad news for the Giants. Torricelli Simpkins playing significantly better football as a rookie UDFA than Cesar Ruiz, who was
Really
a higher draft pick and has gotten extended and everything. So that's definitely something that's been interesting for the Saints offensive lineup.
Yeah, and look, the strength of the Giants team is their defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And a dominant side of the football, whether it be or a dominant position group, can take advantage of another team's weaknesses. The two young tackles have been fine. Still a rookie. If Brian Burns gets lined up with Kelvin Banks, I want him to win that matchup more times than not. But that interior offensive line, you're going to have to deal with Dexter Lawrence. We know he's really good. I know the center for the Saints, McCoy, is really good as well. But we will at times, Trace, move in Abdul Carter to defensive tackle. They'll move in Brian Burns to defensive tackle. And they'll try to beat you with quickness, some of those finesse moves. So how those interior offensive linemen are going to be able to hold up against the Saints, or against the Giants, excuse me, I think that's going to tell the story of this game. If they win that matchup, y'all might win the football game. If we win it, we might win the football game.
And I think that's actually a really interesting point here. Like the versatility and the ability to move some of those edge rushers to the interior of the of the defensive line. Like, I think that just is a testament to how quality some of these athletes are and how well that they have developed over college and early in their careers. And I think that for the New York Giants, that is exactly the recipe to beat the Saints, is make all of the problems come directly up the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Spencer Rattler start to use his legs a little bit more, and we've seen when edge rushers, try to get the corner, he takes off and he may get a couple of yards and may make a small play there. Nothing absolutely egregious, but he may make a play. But when you've seen the pass rush come straight from the middle, Spencer Rattler has really, really struggled.
It's tough to deal with pressure right in your face.
Absolutely. And if you have no time to make a read, how are you going to dump the ball off? How are you going to hit your check down? How are you going to give your time the receiver to get open if the minute you snap the ball, you already have pressure in the backfield? So I think that's a big recipe for the Giants to beat the Saints, and also for the Saints to beat the Giants. You got to lock down the interior pass rush, because that is going to be a problem. And establishing the run, like the Saints are starting to create an identity as a rushing offense.
And that's the problem. Giants don't stop the run well.
Yeah, and I think that it's really interesting because Alvin Kamara is still, in my opinion, one of the premier backs in this league. By no means is he a top running back, but I think that he is still a very high-functioning, very valuable, reliable weapon on the offense who can do a lot, but don't get it twisted. Kendre Miller, fun fact, has the #1 PFF elusive grade across all backs in the National Football League. 12 missed tackles, 124 yards, 104 of that after contact.
Jeez, yeah.
So Kendre Miller is a player that if the Giants want to win, I think that he's a player that they need to stop. And if the Saints want to win, they need to give him a lot of opportunities, because Alvin Kamara has taken a lot of hits. He has a lot of tread worn down. Kendre Miller is very, very fresh and ready to go. And I think that this could be a really fun, young, rushing competition between Kendre Miller and Cam Skattebo. I'm really excited about that.
And look, those numbers for Miller, they put a little fear into my heart. The Giants have not been a sound tackling team. They leave a lot of yards on the table for opposing offenses. You go back to the game in week 2 against the Dallas Cowboys. Javonte Williams busted off a couple of 30-yard runs. You go to the game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Omarion Hampton, he had a 50-yard touchdown run. Kamara is still a damn good player. I don't have to tell the Saints fans that. He can create chunk plays in the running game. And if Miller is a guy that's just going to break tackle after tackle, the Giants have to do a better job of meeting at the football. Their pursuit has not been great, especially their safeties, Tyler Nubin and Javon Holland. And when you do get a hold of somebody, you got to wrap them up and get to the ground. Arm tackles are not going to get it done on Kendre Miller.
No, and that definitely won't get it done for Cam Skattebo either. Like, one of the most frustrating things I've seen with this team is a struggle with tackling. At times, they have been able to really contain the run, but then 2-3 plays later, pop off because you break 3 or 4 arm tackles. Like, it's just such a frustrating thing. And maybe this is me being a dumb microphone brain, short, chubby white kid. if you're going to go make a play, wrap up, pick them up, take them to the ground. That's what coach always told us. You wrap them up, you lift them, and you go down with them.
Yep.
Like, I'm tired of this arm tackling nonsense. I'm tired of just trying to lay the shoulder in, make the hit. Just make the damn play. One final question I have, Marshall, for you. If there is one key weakness for the Giants, what do you think that is a place that the Saints should exploit? And I'll answer the same thing for your
I was going to go the same thing. So I'll give you two. And one is the Giants' run defense. I think if the Saints are going to win this game, they're going to be able to do so because they are running the football. We saw the stats for Miller. We know all and well about Alvin Kamara. The Giants' run defense, it's been better, but they've given up some big chunk plays. And when you create chunk plays on offense, the percentage that you're going to score touchdowns, it skyrockets. So the Giants have to tackle. Another thing I'm worried about is how the ripple effect of the Malik Neighbors injury is going to hamstring this offense. Because, look, Saints fans, they know how good Malik Neighbors is. We know how good Malik Neighbors is. There were 4 eyes on him every single play. The corner and the safety, shaded that way. The Giants don't have any skill position player outside of Cam Scatterby, really, that any defensive coordinator has to spend 35 minutes in front of a whiteboard saying, we got to do this to stop him. We can't let him beat us. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the Saints might be able to stack the box, limit the Giants' run game, and make Jaxson Dart make throws. If the Saints can stop the run, which the Giants want to do, and the Giants can't stop the run, I think it might be a really bad feeling leaving the Superdome.
Yeah, and from the Saints side of things, two weaknesses that the Giants could definitely exploit is the rushing defense. Similar to the Giants, we have a massive problem stopping the run. I mean, we are quite literally allergic to getting stops on 3rd and long specifically.
Oh, the same.
Same. It's so great, Marshall. Makes you so happy.
3rd and 18, I'm like, I hope we get off the field.
Oh, no, I'll tell you right now, if it's ever 3rd and more than 10, I'm just writing it off as, all right, first down, other team. It doesn't even matter. We're not going to get a stop.
We're really good on 1st and 2nd down.
1st and 2nd down. If it was a 1st and 2nd down league, we're winning the damn Super Bowl. It's an NFC Championship game right here. But I will say, if the Saints have a problem stopping the run, which I do think could be a big issue, you will see this team absolutely get destroyed. If they cannot get after Jaxson Dart and put some of those rookie stresses on him, bringing a lot of pressure, having nice coverage, limiting his reads, you got to get after him. So for the Giants, 2 things they need to do: rush the football well, win on 3rd down. Like you said, it's cliche, but the big one is Jaxson Dart just needs to avoid the rookie struggles. Like, if you can see Jaxson Dart play a clean, complete football game, I think the New Orleans Saints are going to have a big issue with him because they struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Chase Young's still out. Interesting, we may see Taysom Hill. He's
had some big games against the Giants.
He may be back. Coming back from a major knee injury, suffered in December. He was a limited participant on Wednesday. Have to see what goes on throughout the week in terms of his availability, but we'll have to see what happens, man. I'm actually really excited for this matchup because I feel like this is one of those that you really are going to get to see 2 teams that are not quite living up to the hopes and dreams of the fan bases try to go out and say, you know what, this is where we turn it around.
This is going to be a heartbreak game for a fan base.
One of these
If the Giants lose, all the good vibes of Jaxson Dart are gone like that. Mm-hmm. And as you know, and I'm sure Saints fans know, 0-5 is a death sentence in the NFL.
Yeah, well, and Spencer Rattler right now is 0-10. If he loses this one, it's 0-11, I believe. And so that's just not going to be sustainable for long term. And eventually you have to have a conversation. Do you throw Tyler Shuck in there? Because, that's the world.
Is there any way that you could see that maybe happening during the game?
So Tyler Shuck did go in against the Seahawks in the 4th quarter when we were already down by like 30.
So it was over.
It was an over ball game, very much so. But we will see.
Let's say it's 6-0 at halftime. Saints haven't scored.
I think they still keep Rattler in. I think Rattler will be the quarterback all 4 quarters, barring something crazy like an injury or a blowout in either way. That's kind of my thought on that.
Gotcha.
All right, let's ask the question. Who you got? Saints, Giants. Both of us are going to be live on our respective channels. Marshall, you're going in an hour.
Both teams fan bases should have hope for this game.
Oh, this game should be one of those. My comment section better be loaded with NOs. Marshall's better be loaded with NYGs
Yep.
because, hey, we both know both of our fan bases are better than the other fan base, right? It's absolutely great. Marsh, I'm looking forward to the watch party. I'm looking forward to the battles, all that fun stuff that we're going to have, all the tweets. It's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to being live for this game. Really big matchup for both squads. So Saints fans, make sure you subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. We'll be live on game day 1 hour before kickoff. And Marshall, you can take it away.
Sub for Giant Stubs, guys. We're going to be live on the channel an hour before game day. It's a big game. Look, there's a huge difference between 1-4 and 2-3. 2-3, the season's still alive.
Yep.
1-4, we might have to start doing mock drafts, and I'm not ready for mock drafts.
Is there a big difference between 0-5 and 1-4, or is that just it went from shitty to stinky?
You can get a win streak going.
No, you can't. It's hard to get a win streak going if you ain't got one. So there you go. All righty, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into the video. We'll see y'all later.